Slitterhead takes place in a fictional version of Hong Kong called Kowloon during the 1990s. It has lots of neon lights, cramped streets, and that classic cyberpunk-ish atmosphere, but without going overboard with it. You play as Hyoki, essentially a spirit without the body, who's lost their memory. Your main mission is hunting down these creatures called Slitterheads, monsters disguised as humans who have been leaving behind mutilated bodies throughout the city. The most unique and interesting part of the game is how you actually play it. Since you are this bodiless spirit, you can possess pretty much anyone you see. And this isn't just a gimmick either. It is integrated into everything you do in the game. The combat system is built around this possession mechanic as well. At its core, it's a pretty standard action game. You have your melee attacks, dodging, parrying, and various special abilities that work on cooldowns. I wouldn't say that the combat or the overall gameplay, for that matter, is very deep. And I'd say it definitely has the potential to get repetitive. But the game has some elements that reward a dynamic playstyle approach. Like every time you jump into a new body, you get a temporary boost to your attack power and combat efficiency, so you are always encouraged to keep switching between bodies during fights to maintain your advantage. There are also these special individuals called Rarities that you can also possess, who come with their own unique abilities. There is one who fights with Wolverine-style claws, for example. Another one uses a massive gun. You are gonna spend roughly 15 hours exploring this version of Hong Kong. As far as I have seen, the game world isn't massive, and like I said, you'll definitely see some repetition in both the environments and enemy types. Most of your fights will be against these regular Slitterhead grunts, or sometimes military enemies. There are boss fights that add some variety, though they don't appear to be the most sophisticated fights either. The platforming mostly involves jumping between the same kinds of spots repeatedly, but despite this repetition, the core gameplay loop of possessing different bodies and using their abilities can keep things interesting enough if you know what you're getting into and you dig this kind of gameplay, while also not being too critical about the pretty bare bones graphics and animations. Their story setup is intriguing, but the gameplay is clearly the focus here. You shouldn't expect a deep narrative here. It is pretty clear this is a lower budget game, and there's a general lack of polish in areas like movement and combat responsiveness. But the core idea of being this body swapping spirit hunting monsters is still unique and interesting, and the atmosphere is pretty damn good in this game. I compliment the game for not going the safe route and actually trying out something new. We definitely need more games with this mindset. The main issue here is likely the price at around $50 US, which I estimate for many people is simply too high, considering some of the game's aspects feel a bit like the late PlayStation 3 or early PlayStation 4 games. And that sentence concludes today's video. If your time was respected, a like or comment is very much appreciated.